Well, I would like to bring Mr. Terence Blanchard out here if he's ready. Thank you so much for this
Thank you.
extraordinary evening. I really enjoyed it. It was great fun for me, and I hope
Thank
you did
you.
too. Um,
Yes.
Terence Blanchard, another Spike Lee compatriot, the composer of *Da Five Bloods*. Hello
Amen.
there.
Hey, how are you? What's going on, Delroy? How are you, man? Good to see you.
You, brother. I'm well, brother. I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. And I'm here to just spew a
Oh,
few words.
before I go
Go
any
ahead.
further, congratulations on the nomination. Incredibly, profoundly well deserved, bro. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
congratulations,
very
man.
much. Thank you
Heartfelt
very much.
from my heart.
You should
From my
you
heart.
should be there with me. That's for sure.
I
That's
know.
for sure.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let me just present you with this. So the thing about Delroy is that he leaves an impression. The way he can effortlessly inhabit the characters, the authority with which he delivers his lines, and the impact he leaves on a project, whether you remember the story or not, you definitely remember Delroy. You remember what he was doing. He's made a career of this from the stage, as he's been talking about, to the screen. He's virtually owned countless films in the space of what we might call a character actor, adding such dynamism. I was struggling with that word, dynamism and texture to movies like Clockers or Malcolm X or Get Shorty. And then moving from the big Hollywood projects like Congo to the smaller writer director visions like Heist with ease and grace. And I'll bet, as I mentioned, each of these projects, Delroy's work flashes in front of your mind. I know that happens. Because again, if you remember anything, you remember what Delroy was doing. He stands out in this vast ensembles, indelible and immortal to the last. And that couldn't be more true with Spike Lee's The Five Bloods. I love what you did in The Five Bloods.
Thank you.
In this film, Delroy plays Paul, as you've seen, a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, suffering through a life of self-exile, racked with guilt over a series of losses in his life. His experiences of rejection, of disconnection from his family and country. There are just so many dimensions to this guy, and Delroy found a way to reflect all of them, as you've seen. The emotional arc of the character is massive, you know, and it has all truly been a moment for Delroy and a moment for me watching it. Really, I have to thank you for that. You know, it's
Thank you,
been
man.
one of my proudest things, man, to share with him. As a composer, I get a chance to see Delroy's work in the rawest form. I mean, from Clockers on up. I mean, in all of these films, you know, and it's been a beautiful experience to have. That was an incredibly moving experience on this project, like we've just been discussing, like you've just been discussing, which proved to be, in my mind, one of the richest opportunities of Delroy's career. He sank his teeth into this incredibly complex character, brought to the table decades of acquired skill, and he ultimately executed one of the most beautiful performances of the year. I was totally moved watching him every day on screen, inspired to do my best just to follow his lead. So, with all of that, it is my great honor to present my brother, Delroy Lindo, with the Santa Barbara Film Festival's American Riviera Award. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I can't, I can't say enough. Throughout the year, I've been talking about you in this film just about every day, you know. And I was telling people, I said, man, before the film was released, well, Larry Cherry, a mutual friend of
Yeah.
ours who works on the film. We kept saying, man, Delroy did his thing. Delroy did his thing. And it was interesting listening to you talk about how you guys don't get a chance to do this as a group, because that's exactly what I felt watching the film. To see you, to see Clark, to see Isaiah, to see all you guys together as an ensemble was extremely motivating. And it was such a proud thing for me that it scared me to death when it came time for me to write the music. Because I'm sitting there saying, okay, these dudes did their thing. You cannot drop the ball in this project.
You
Do
did
not.
not.
You did not, man. You did not. You
No,
did
but
not.
thank you. But I've been telling people, I said, man, working with these guys, it's like being on the Chicago Bulls, the championship team, and Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan are on a fast break, and they're passing the ball back and forth, and at the last second they throw it to you, and you got to take the shot. And I'm like,
You
no way.
So Delroy, you
Oh my
get to
God.
accept the award now if you have anything you want to say.
Yes. Oh God, there's a bunch that I want to say, but I'll contain myself. First of all, thank you so much, Terence, for everything that you said. And what this cat, so Terence and I have, have worked together, but for the most part, we don't work together, right?
Right.
So I do my part, and then Terence comes in post production or at some point during production and does his contributes to music. But I've had the honor to see Terence just in his hometown of New Orleans. And when I was visiting, I was doing some Hurricane Katrina work. And as I said to you, Terence, a few months ago, I got to see you as a human being, as a man, and I got to see your humanity. I got to see you interact with your community and the kinds of contributions that you make. So to the extent that I may inspire you, I'm saying right back at you, bro. You inspire me.
You.
And one of the, yes, absolutely. And one of the central components of that inspiration has to do with your humanity and how you bring your humanity to bear through your music, through your craft. And that's a lesson.
Thank you.
So I can't imagine being more honored to get the award from you. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have some prepared remarks. So if you see me looking down, I'm going to be speaking about the things that I've written that I don't want to forget. The first thing is, whenever I speak to my son or any young people, I say to them, you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching you. And the reason that I say that is in trying to inspire them to do their best work, to be their best at whatever endeavor they are engaging, because you never know who you will inspire, who will be moved by what you do. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Santa Barbara International Film Festival for being moved to give me this recognition and for seeing and acknowledging the work. I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate that. Thank you to the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. And this recognition is extra special to me this particular year in context of what's happened in the last few weeks, which I'm not going to talk about, but I will say to you, I appreciate the recognition. That recognition is all down to Spike Lee. It's all down to Spike Lee and his bringing together all of us to work on this particular film. On the one hand, I go back to 1992 when I started working with Spike. So on a lot of levels, my appreciation for Spike stems from that time. I have a deep, deep, deep appreciation for Spike, specifically around this film, but also in context of all of the work we've done together, man. And Spike, if you're watching, I want to say that I have an enhanced appreciation for your particular genius, what you do. And Terence, you made a comment in a session we were having a few weeks ago in which you mentioned giving flowers to each other while we're here. Don't wait until we've gone on, right? You want to give the flowers while we are here. And in this moment of recognition, I need to give my flowers, you know, figuratively to Spike and say, you're a genius, bro. And my appreciation of your genius has only been enhanced in all the various discussions and the press events that we've done over the last 8 months in support of this film. I love you, man. And we all need to appreciate this man's genius as I do. I want to say thank you to my brothers, the cast and crew of the Five Bloods, in terms of the community that they created and the safe space that we all created together to make this work possible. Specifically, with my work, my colleagues, my brothers, my brethren, Clark Peters, Jonathan Majors, Norm Lewis, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Chadwick Boseman, the bond that we had on and off screen, but that featured centrally into the work that we were able to do for the camera. Thank you to the cast and the crew, and thank you, a particular thank you to my brothers in arms. I mentioned this in the course of the interview, but the bond that we created does not come along every day. It was very special. I will cherish it until I go to my grave. Thank you so much, you all, for being part of that. I need to thank my cousins, Ronnie and Ted, Vietnam vets. They were with me at the very beginning of my work on this process. And Ronnie and Ted shared with me their experiences in Nam. And that was the springboard for me to begin my work. So thank you to Ronnie and Ted, and thank you to all the vets who spoke with me and shared with me their experiences, because all of those things were part of the stitching together as I started to create Paul. By extension, I want to say a huge thank you to all the Black and brown vets whose stories never get told, all the vets whose stories never get told on film. And I do not have the words to articulate how special it is for me to have been honored to be part of this project and to be part of telling what I hope is you see as your story. Thank you to all the vets. Thank you to my son, Demiri. He's probably not watching this, but my son inspires me in ways that you never know, Demiri, and you inspire me to always be my best every single time out. You're my heart, and I love you, man. Thank you. And lastly, I will say that, you know, we've alluded to this. On some level, you know, in the last few months have been a microcosm of my career. The last couple of years have been a microcosm of my career. These extraordinary creative highs, creative stimulation that I've had, extraordinarily deep, creatively rewarding experiences, and there have been some gut punches that I did not see coming. I really didn't see it coming. But throughout all of this, my wife, Nashramain, has been with me throughout the whole journey, giving me a rock solid love and a rock solid support. And I need to thank my wife, Nashramain, her wise counsel that continues Um, my lady has been present for the whole ride, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Thank you to my wife, Nashme. I love you. Um, that's it. What I will say in closing is that despite everything, my mantra is can't stop, won't stop. Onwards and upwards. Can't stop, won't stop, no matter what. So thank you all. God bless you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
This was wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Terence. Thank you,
Thank you,
Roger.
Tay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Santa
man.
Barbara.
All right, bro.
And goodbye, all. Good night.